So for a longer period of time, I wanted to make a video where I talk slowly and with this like deep voice. So yeah, I'm making one now. And because I have not been doing any audio narration video for quite some time, bear with me. So I might repeat myself or mumble a bit. But today I wanted to talk about improving your art, but from a different angle, like attacking the issue from different angle. So we will not be talking about practicing perspective or practicing this and that, just the general things that very often get overlooked and that a lot of artists, especially in the beginning, absolutely don't care about, me included, because I'm guilty of skipping all of this at some point. And since I started taking care of everything that I will list, I would say my art improved quite a lot, or at least I feel it improved quite a lot. So the first thing that is the most crucial in my opinion is to get a good night's sleep. If you're a freelancer, it's much easier to do because you basically can go to sleep whenever you want and like wake up whenever you feel like waking up. If you work in a studio, it might be a bit harder, a bit trickier, but it can be a huge game changer. If you get a good night's sleep, basically like your mind resets, you are like well rested. And I believe every single one of you at some point tried to work being extremely tired, and then if you are tired, like your artworks will be tired and it just won't feel good. Your efficiency will be super low and it's just not worth the hassle. Like taking 2 extra hours of sleep will basically make you much faster, much quicker, much sharper at doing art than sleeping for, let's say, I don't know, 4 hours or something like it. Like you will, of course, save time on sleeping, but then you will lose twice as much time on simply being inefficient. So if there is something that in my opinion is crucial, is to get a good night's sleep. And to get a good night's sleep, you will need to experiment a bit. You will need to see what works for you, what does not work for you, what are the, let's say, rituals you have to perform before you will go to sleep. And one of the crucial things to, at least in my case, improve my sleep quality drastically was to take care of hydration, because for a very long time I would say I was dehydrated, like I was not drinking enough fluids. So let's say this 2.5 liters or something like this of water or fluids in general per day is the desired amount. And I am quite sure that the vast majority of people do not drink even like close to this number. Like drinking glass of water a day sometimes is what people do, and then they wonder why they feel like shit. So yeah, taking care of hydration is extremely important, because you will again feel much better rested, you will feel sharper, your thinking will be better, and you will get tired at much slower pace. And the same stuff is related to food. So basically if you will eat a lot of junk, then you will kind of feel like junk. It's at least something from my experience. If I would fill myself with like shit food or some candies or whatever, basically a lot of processed foods, I will just feel bad. I will feel tired, I will feel heavy, and I will not feel very energetic. It does not mean, in my opinion, that you should drop all the sweets and all the sweet treats and whatever. Just if you enjoy a pack of chips or a candy bar or whatever from time to time, it's absolutely fine. And sometimes it will be more than you think you should eat. But yeah, just try to at least be mindful of what you are eating and of the quality of the food that you are eating. It does not mean, in my opinion, you should go like 100% clean and dialed up, like eat on the same hours and everything. If you can, more power to you. Like it requires a lot of self-will and like will and organization that in this case I definitely lack. But just try to keep it a little bit cleaner or slowly improve the quality of the food that you are eating, in the long run it should result in you just feeling better. So if you have like a stable blood sugar and everything, if you don't have like a sudden sugar spikes or whatnot, you won't feel just like your head is dropping down and like you are not willing to work because you will just want to sleep. So trying to kind of keep my sugar levels like normalized throughout the day, so I don't eat a lot of sugar, or if I do, I try to eat some vegetables before it. So yeah, just experiment with it. In this case, I'm not a specialist, but it worked for me, especially since it's kind of related to the next thing, that is doing some movement and lifting weights, running, or doing whatever sort of activity outside of sitting next to a PC that you might like, that you might want to do. And moving and exercising in general, I believe, is the best thing that you can do to improve your art extremely quickly. Because if you strengthen your body, let's say, as most of the artists have some issues with lower back or wrists or whatever, or generally hunched posture and having sometimes even problem breathing because of like the poor posture, you will basically torture yourself while trying to work. So if you are sitting and working and something is hurting you, or you just feel unwell, the work that you are doing also will feel unwell. You will basically translate those feelings to your work, and you will see that it's not going the way that you want it to go. So you will start associating bad feeling with work, and at some point it might be detrimental to your progress, or might absolutely kill the enjoyment you feel while doing art. And feeling the enjoyment while doing art, even if it's something that you are not in particular very maybe not fond of, maybe excited about, because sometimes we will just do art that we are not excited about. I lost the track of mind, but the general idea was, if you will move, if you will in general strengthen your body, you will have much more energy and you will feel much better sitting for long hours in front of a PC. In my case, I try to go to a gym like 3 times a week, more or less. Sometimes when I really had a will to work out, I used to go 5 to 6 times to a gym per week. And it does not have to be like extremely long workouts, like 1 hour is the absolute max you should aim for. And most of the time, if you are just casually moving around, like 45 minutes is more than enough. So in my case, it's also very worth to find someone related to fitness, I don't know, maybe on YouTube or wherever you are looking for, and just start doing something. Like, it definitely won't hurt. And if you don't have the ability to go to the gym for whatever reason, also working in-house is perfectly fine. Like, you can do tons of stuff in-house. Just make sure to have an area where you are working out, or in this case, kind of have a schedule where you will be training or going to the gym. At least in my case, I found it's much easier for me to specify where I go to the gym and then plan everything around it, because it kind of gives me the stability and I know what I am aiming for, like in a day. Like, I know what my more or less plan of a day is. And then, yeah, I basically go and work out. And also it's just fun, because the stronger you will feel in general, the better you will feel in front of a PC, as I said. So I believe I repeated myself a few times, but yeah. And the other thing that is kind of like a trick to improve your mood or to deal with work, especially if you are having some sort of a very heavy task. So let's say you are starting a day and you have to do this massive illustration that have tons of characters in it. Like, it might be a little bit overwhelming, especially on a day where you feel kind of down, where you don't feel as great as you would like it to, because let's be real, even if you take care about everything, some days just will be bad, some days will just feel shitty. and you will have zero will to work. A very cool trick that I believe I got from the book is called Atomic Habits or something like it. Later I will change it, but if you will type some sort of Atomic Habits in Google, you will find it without any problems. It's also a great book, very good read for anyone, basically for anyone. But if you are making art, it's also a very great read that is not art related. But the trick was to make a lot of small tasks first, if you are able to do a lot of small tasks. And usually you are able to do them. So if you wake up from bed, then, I don't know, take a shower, make up your bed, go to the shop, make a breakfast. Just do a set of small things that really don't require a lot of energy. So for example, in my case, making a dishwasher, or even sometimes just washing a single plate, was like a great mood enhancer, because I just felt like, I started the day and I finished something. And even if it's a one plate, if you convince yourself hard enough, then it's a small achievement. So it works really well for the general morale of yours. And in my case, it did wonders. So every single time when I wake up, I try to do quite the similar things, like walk the dog, then go to the shop, like walk the dog, feed the dog, go to the shop, make a breakfast, make up my bed, at best, like take a shower or something like it, but I usually prefer to shower at evening. But yeah, that depends. A lot of small things. And before I jump to work, I make sure that I get rid of all of the distractions that I might have. So for example, I prepare all the music that I want to listen to today. Of course, it will change during the day, but at least I give myself a general idea of what I might want to listen to. I turn on some videos that I want to listen to or watch on a second screen, because most of the time when I'm painting, I'm just like, something is going up in the background. So I'm trying to set everything of this up before I start doing anything. Then I will check my email, Discord. I will see if anything is super urgent that I need to take care of. I don't know, maybe I will pay a bill that I forgot about, or just do some random stuff that I know is not very time consuming, it's not energy consuming, but will be very distracting if I will really be in the zone and something like this like occurs at the moment. So if I'm painting and I'm really feeling the painting, and at some moment I will like remind myself that I forget to pay the bill for this or that, I will be annoyed and the zone will be absolutely distracting. So distracted, destroyed, yeah, this is a better word, and it might be a bit hard to get in the zone again. So this is also extremely important, in my opinion, to incorporate in your day. And the other thing is to not grind too hard, in a sense, in one sitting. So there was this study that at the moment is trust me bro, in terms of like the resources and everything and the references, but the general idea was that you cannot be really focused for a very long period of times. So instead of sitting and painting for 8 hours straight, I prefer to, let's say, paint for 30 minutes, make a 15-minute break. Paint for 40 minutes, make a 15-minute break. Paint for 20 minutes, like, I don't know, go to the shop and just go back and like constantly switch stuff. And of course, if I will be really in the zone, deep in the zone, and I will feel like painting for 3 hours straight without any interruptions, then of course I will do it, like I won't fight it. But in general, breaking up a task to smaller parts will be very good, at least in my case, to improve the general efficiency of the work that I do. So if it's something that you are not doing, maybe it is worth trying. So yeah, it might be a good idea for you to try. And it's also kind of related to the general, that's a hard one, general plan of a day or schedule of a day, because at some point I remember I tried to schedule my day in a sense that from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. I'm doing this, from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. I'm doing that, but it never really worked with me. So I was way too random and kind of too disorganized in a way that this just does not click well with me. So one of the tips that I can give you that at least worked for me is to have the general idea of what I want to do during the day and then schedule it kind of randomly based on the way I feel. So if I want to do some studies, maybe I will do them in the morning, maybe I will do them by the end of the day, but I will try to just squeeze them somewhere. And one of the issues that I had with this method was sometimes I would skip something. So, for example, I decided to go, in this case, to a gym at, let's say, Wednesday, and I just didn't go because I had something very urgent to do at work. I had a lot of different stuff to do, around in-house. I had to take care of something that would basically burn the 2 or 3 hours during the day that I just couldn't burn. So, and then I would get upset and it will set me up in a bad mood because I didn't do something that I wanted to do, that I had in plans. And I, for a very long period of time, had an issue with it. So I couldn't, my mind couldn't adjust to failing something. But at the moment, I kind of tried to change my thinking, and I did. And now I'm like, okay, I didn't go to the gym on Monday, I will go on Tuesday. And if I plan to go on Wednesday and Monday, then I will go on Wednesday if I can. But if I can't, I will just delay it by 1 day, but I will do it at some point. Just not trying to delay it infinitely, but just not getting angry or annoyed by not doing something that I have planned really helped me in general to make my head a little bit more stable. So I just felt better about doing everything that I had. And the other thing about working is a lot of people, especially in the art world, make work like they main stuff, like the main thing that they do. Because if we are not working at art, we are doing art for ourselves. If we are not, or if we finish working full time, then most likely we are doing some commissions, outside of work. So we are making art. And because this is a field where you really need to practice a lot, practice, and practice. You might hear my dog making some weird sounds. But yeah, if you are practice, you might forget about other stuff. So it's very good in this case to find some sort of a hobby that will basically kind of switch your mind from this constant work mindset to something else. In my case, my hobby is let's say going to the gym. I kind of mixed my hobby with exercises because I just really enjoy it. I enjoy reading about human body, how muscles work and everything. So I kind of got 2 in 1 in this case. But yeah, it's a very good idea to find a hobby. It will allow you to change a pace of thinking, and also you will be slightly more interesting to talk to, because if you would talk to someone who has only one topic to talk about, you will find out this, talking with this person is kind of boring in the long run. And the last thing that I believe is the hardest to do, in my opinion at least, is to enjoy the entire process for extremely long period of time. Instead of enjoying the art, I was frustrated that I am not good enough, that I have to push myself harder, that I am not top of the top and whatnot and everything. I would compare myself to other artists, and especially if I would see someone who is 10 times better than I am, and they are younger at this point, I will be like, yo, that's not fair. What do they have that I don't have? And it will spiral myself to this really unhealthy mindset that basically makes it impossible for me to enjoy doing art or doing whatever that you are doing, because I believe this is not only art related, but as they say, the comparison is kind of a thief of joy. I don't remember who said it, but I saw a quote in the internet, and it is true. So if you will convince yourself, because it kind of takes a lot of convincing, that you are having fun while working, then the work will be that much better. Because even if you are doing the task that you are very not excited about, but you will find those small things that you can enjoy while working on this piece, then it will get tremendously better, and you will feel much more, you will just feel better while working on it. There is not much more to it. So the way I approach it is, because I really like challenges. Like if something is challenging, I like to try to tackle it from different directions. I try to solve the problem. I really like solving some issues and stuff like it. It might be kind of related to my background, because I studied industrial design, and the design is basically problem solving and just putting it then nicely on paper in a visual form. But every single time now, when I have a task that I don't really like, I try to go at it more in a way that I can't do it. Like, what is the problem? Let me identify the problem. Let me solve the problem, find the way to solve the problem. And then at the moment, then the result is I am solving problems that I enjoy solving, because it's just fun. And now I'm missing the word, but the result, the side result, there was a better phrase for it, but the accidental result is the, let's say, artwork that I didn't want to make. So I tackled different thing, and the result was the byproduct. The byproduct of solving all the issues is the illustration that I finished, or a project that I finished. So usually, if I will repeat myself again, most likely, if I am not feeling an artwork well, or the project I'm doing well, I will change my mindset to not making artwork, but to solve problems. And then artwork basically makes itself. And the other thing that I kind of forgot about, and maybe it's not the best thing to end the video with, or to get it closer to the end of the video, is, and this is very art related, like art specific, but I believe again it applies to different fields if you are working somewhere else, is to find the tools that you like. And in this case, by tools, I mean software and brushes. So there is this huge debate, or it was, let's say 10 years ago, that if you are a true artist, it does not matter what tools you are using, is the skill, the brushes are not everything. And this is right, the brushes are not everything. But if you are using brushes that just feel wrong, you won't have fun painting. And especially if we are making a digital art, I'm very wondering if you can hear my dog sneezing and snoring, because she is going hard at it. I hope you can't hear it, otherwise we have a nice background noise. But going to the brushes, if you are using brushes that you just don't enjoy, you won't feel the same level of enjoyment while painting. So it's a very good idea to, before doing any type of work, to download, 1,000 brushes from different sites. There's great resource for it. It's called digitalbrushes.tumblr.com, or however you say it, and just download everything and just test every single brush, even make some strokes with it, and you will immediately know if this brush just sits well. And in my case, for example, at some point I remember I downloaded Greg Rutkowski brushes, and I felt his paintings are awesome. I want to have the same quality, the same style in his like his painting have. And I used his brushes, and I was like, those are awful. Out of 20 brushes, maybe one felt okay, like felt good for me. And I was like, okay, I'm not going then to get the same texture that he does, but he might feel absolutely the other way about his brushes. So if he is painting with his set that he has, he might love every single one of those brushes. And when I am using them, I am like, I am not using those, I'm searching for something else. And sometimes the brushes that I would absolutely like not consider have so good feeling while painting that I just stuck using them. And even recently when I was doing some line art, I was really experimenting with some brushes that kind of give this traditional look or have this pencil feeling or whatever, but I just couldn't find a brush that would work well for the task that I was given. And I took one of the most basic, like this rectangle one brushes with some texture, made it like 4 pixels, tried drawing something with it, and I was like, okay, this is perfect for line art. Like this is my go-to line art tool right now. Even though it has 0 qualities of something that I have been looking for, it allowed me to draw and feel the brush in a way that allows me to emulate, let's say, the pencils or whatever, because I just feel well using this brush. So make sure the tools that you are using are good and that you enjoy using them. And also a huge game changer can be, if you are in tools, make absolute sure that your work area, that your workspace is the way you like it to have. For example, in my case, I don't really mind having it kind of cluttered with lots of different stuff like bottles, some energy drinks or whatever. But I also do enjoy having it very clean and neat and whatnot. So I always try to organize the space around myself in a way that allows me to concentrate on the work and on the screen. So I try to get rid of everything that is distracting for me, and it might help tremendously to improve your artwork and to improve just your focus. Because the general idea is if you improve somewhere by 1% and then somewhere else by 1%, and you will do 20 like improvements like those by 1%, the end result will be you are not like 120% better, but I will need to make a math, but it's like, 101 and 1% of 101 is a little bit more than 1. So it will really quickly pile up and it will really quickly improve, like the magic of small numbers. There was also a better word for it, but I don't remember it right now. But just make sure the environment you work in is as comfortable as it can be. And it also is kind of related to the chair you are sitting at. This is definitely one of the investments you should consider quite early on. In my case, because as I said, I am working out quite a lot, I never had any issues with lower back or sitting or whatnot. Like never anything hurt me while I was sitting. So I could sit on basically anything, like give me any chair and I would sit on it for hours without any pain. But some people who skipped on working out really have a lot of issues with their like low back and posture on whatever. And sometimes a good chair might be a lifesaver, because you will have a better thing to sit on for a very long hours, and it might extend or give you extra time to work on the weaknesses that you need to work on to improve quite a lot. So yeah, I think those would be the things, the stuff that I believe you should really improve upon and that you should focus beside of work. And maybe in later videos we will talk how we can improve our art by actually making art. But in this case I went to the other way around. So I prepared myself a summary list, and it basically goes like that, like this. Get a good night's sleep, hydrate yourself, do small tasks before you jump into big ones, eat better, find a hobby, work out a bit, enjoy the process. And yeah, this will be all. And if you watch the entire video. I would love to hear your thoughts about the topic, and have a good time and enjoy, and see ya in the next videos, and subscribe, like, or whatever, and yeah, get out.